Welcome back to the 4th episode of the free Rover Restoration.
In this video, we're going to be completely gutting the interior, giving it its much needed clean.
Doing a full start to finish, we're going to be treating all the mould that is grown on the inside and completely cleaning it to make it smell like a brand new car.
Are you ready to do this, James?
I'm absolutely ready, let's get into it. It's been a fair while since our last visit, so here's a quick recap. Where we left off the last time, we finished off the brakes, took it for a cruise, discovered there was a leak in the cooling system, and then the car stopped moving. Great. After all that, I got sick of the car and it sat outside in all weather conditions, and I can safely say that doing that only brought on more problems. Alright Hugh, you can shut the tap off now. So I put a poll up on my channel asking whether for this video I should fix the problems, ignore them for a bit and do a full clean, or just sell it. And while I do agree with the 2% that say just sell it, fixing the problems was a clear winner. But however, this is my show and I will be ignoring all of your votes and doing a full clean instead. Just remember, it's not that I don't listen, it's just that I don't care. So we got the tractor to tow it from its grove site to a better spot for the clean. And in here we can see just how disgusting it is. You can see some spiders in here, and while any normal person would have just burned the car to the ground, I decided just to clear them out. The back of the car isn't too bad, but for some reason my cat still loves this stinky pit. What are you doing, Cleo? So let's start by cleaning out some of the junk in here. And yes, there is a window wiper that did break off, but you guys haven't seen that yet. Next up, I'm going to remove the seat, and you'll notice I'm actually wearing the proper PPE after all the comments in the first video. So with 2 bolts at the front, 4 at the back, a seatbelt bolt and a wiring clip is all it takes to remove the seat. And crossing over to the passenger seat, we can do the exact same thing. For the back seat, we can slide a screwdriver in and pop that little clip up. And when the next one is done, we can remove the back seat. Next, we can fold this whole back panel down to create a little more room. And moving over to this side piece, if we remove this tiny screw down here, then we can slide the whole thing up. As soon as those are gone, we can remove these 2 Torx bolts on both the sides and then take the whole backrest out. Next step is to give the interior a very good vacuum, including that mouldy puddle over there. Once we pop the boot, we can see all this old gritty carpet just sitting in there, and once that's all removed, we can see that we have another problem. Ants.
What kind of man has ants in his car?
Sorry little buddies, but you gotta go. From there, I can give the boot a really good clean by first picking up all the loose dirt and rubbish with a dustpan, agitating all the dirt with a stiff bristled cleaning brush, and sweeping all that up, before giving everything a spray down with soap and water and giving it a really good scrub. With all that done, we can instantly see a great result from the before and after.
So before we put the seats back in, it's probably best that we fix another issue, and that is the saggy headliner.
Nobody wants saggy things in their life, so fixing this is a must. I'm going to start by removing all the trim around the car that holds up the headliner. Each bit of trim is either held in by a clip or a screw, so if you look hard enough, you will have no problem removing them. Some bit of trims are even held in by the seatbelt bolts, so don't be afraid to remove them. And with all the fasteners out, the headliner fell on me, so now we can pull it out through the boot and put it aside to work on it later. Now we can go into professional cleaner mode and fill a spray bottle with 8 parts vinegar to 2 parts water. Give that a good spray around all the mouldy spots, and what this is going to do is just going to break in and kill all the mould. Leave that to sit for 20 minutes and then come back with a stiff bristled brush and give it a good scrub, followed by a vacuum. I then used the carpet cleaner and sprayed it all over the carpet. Then using a brush on a drill, I can get all the cleaner mixed in. After stealing Dad's wet and dry vacuum, I went through and sucked out everything. And then I went through and did the same to the whole interior.
With the whole interior taken out of the car, we can now take it over to the shed where we can clean it out with the WetVac.
After the entire interior was spotless, I got all the seats and parts I removed at the beginning of the video and gave them all the same treatment. A vacuum, followed by a carpet cleaner, and then a WetVac. With all the arse juices removed from the car, I can get to the headliner. Once I slowly peel back all the fabric, I could use a nylon brush to remove the old adhesives that came from the factory. I got some spray adhesive and sprayed it onto the board and then the fabric sticking them together. Or, well, at least that was the plan, but in reality the spray was too thin and not strong enough to hold it all. So after tossing that out, I went back to the shop and got a tin of contact cement and a cheap brush, and I can happily say that went together perfectly.
Well, that's not good. Covered the thing in a tarp and it's still leaking from somewhere. Look at that. That's a full pool in there. It's hard to tell on video, but that's disgusting.
Even with a tarp over the car, the rain still managed to get in, so Hugh and I got together for a science experiment. I got in the car while Hugh used the state-of-the-art technology to see where the leak was coming from.
Alright, Hugh, fire away.
Here, close your door.
Yeah, better close your door first. Got the hose out, look at him go. Yep, that's it. Look at that. Oh yeah. Oh, that'll do.
With the leak detected as the passenger side door seal, we can begin by taping up the wrong spot. Yeah, even I don't even know what we're really thinking in this clip. I think we originally thought the leak was coming from this channel.
Mate, if you can't fix it with duct tape, you'll never fix it.
You've tried your best, duct tape the rest.
That's my motto.
Now that all the seats and trim are clean and the headliner is fixed, it's time to reinstall everything into the car.
Time to reinstall everything, and starting with the headliner, yes, this was an absolute pain to install by myself, but I eventually got there. Okay, so the headliner is completely installed back into this car. However, there is one slight problem with the carpet. No matter how much I clean it, no matter how many chemicals I throw at it, it's just not getting rid of that mould, and it also just looks really awful. So I'm going to cut it out, and then in the next episode, I'm going to replace it. So let's start with that now. Cutting carpet can easily be achieved with just a Stanley knife, but do yourself a favour and grab a new blade before starting. Also, just be careful not to cut the wires underneath. The carpet is gone and you can see some rust spots, so we'll have to fix that up in the future, but for now we can just move on. We are up to installing everything back into the car, but first I want to give the carpet a quick spray down with the odour remover. Then we can start dragging the parts over.
You didn't dust any of this.
The first part was the backrest for the back seat, and this just attaches with the two Torx bolts on the sides. The side supports are next and they slide on and get a screw from the bottom. Next up we can attach the latches that hold this backrest up, and they get attached with the included countersink screws and a nut behind them. With all that installed, it's time for a test. The actual back seat slides in next, and with a push they will clip into place.
Might need a screwdriver because I had to use one to pull them out. How are we going to do this?
Oh, I got it. Oh, awesome. Just gotta put some muscle into it, mate.
I'm over here.
Oh yeah, excuses.
Yeah, excuses.
There we go.
We're in. Righto, back seats are in.
God, that was harder than I thought.
Definitely was, but now it's time to get cracking on the front seats.
Alright, sounds good to me. You right?
Fuck, that was the box. That was the box of all my bolts and nuts I stood on.
But in fact I was not right. That thing that I just stood on was the tray holding all the nuts and bolts. The front seat gets dropped into place and bolted down with the two bolts at the front.
There we go, we're lined up there.
Then the four bolts at the back.
Well, the Torx on the bloody back of the seat.
Yeah.
Oh, that's stupid, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely stupid. And now I've got a steering wheel to through here. That'll do.
Installed. I was gonna say, I need a hand.
That'll do.
And while I attach the back bolts into place, Hugh attached the seat belts.
Whether it's cross-threaded or torque to spec, tight is tight.
Then it was time to install the mirror, which proved to be a challenge.
In there. There we go. Oh my god. Oh well, no rear view mirror.
James, what are all these extra nuts and bolts we got left over here?
Oh, weight reduction.
Ah, that makes sense.
Once all the back components were in, we could move on to the one thing that this car needed most, and that was a set of floor mats. Just like that, the car has had a full interior clean.
Whoa, ho, ho! that interior is looking and smelling good. I think it's all done and dusted.
Thank you guys for watching this episode of the free Rover Restoration. Hugh, how do you think we went on this build?
Considering that this car was just absolutely disgusting, smelled horrible, I think we've done really good. It doesn't smell like that anymore. It smells like a new car. I think we've done an excellent job.
That's what I want to hear. Once the arse juices are all out of the car, it does tend to smell a lot better. So thank you guys for watching this episode of the free Rover Restoration. I'd just like to thank Hugh here for helping me out in this episode.
No worries, James. Anytime.
No worries, and we'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye for now.